But is it anything of these drones? Is it anything that people need to be worried about?
No, I think it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of...
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie?
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you an update on the New Jersey drones. But not just New Jersey. I'm talking about all over the country. A lot of you guys emailed me. You sent me pictures, videos, everything from everywhere. People are wondering, what are these drones? What's going on? Who sent them? Is it an enemy? Is it the military? Is it the government? Does anybody know what's going on? Now, I've not heard a lot about any recent sightings, but that whole event did happen right before the election. It did happen. Now, spoiler alert before we get to it. The new White House press secretary, our girl, Karoline Leavitt, says that the government cleared all these. The FAA cleared all the drones. So whatever they were, they knew what they were. And it wasn't any kind of danger. It wasn't an enemy because they were cleared by the FAA. Now, before we get to that video, I just want to show you this little piece from our U.S. government back in December of 24 before Trump came into office. Again, when you are elected as a president, which President Trump was November the 5th, 2024, you don't actually come into office until after you're inaugurated, which was January 20th, just 8 days ago. Okay, now you see what's on the screen right here. Joint Staff addresses drones over New Jersey military installations. Right now, the FBI, DHS, FAA, and DOD have been unable to determine who was responsible for flying the drones, and there's no indication that there are any adversary nations involved. This is partially true, but partially a lie. The fact that they said this at the end, that's, giving a little bit of reassurance. It's the same thing we're saying right now, but the piece up here is to try and deny any kind of responsibility, deny any kind of accountability. Why don't you just say that the FAA cleared them and there's nothing to worry about, it's all good? Why you ain't just say that? Why would you make this lie up? Now, some are going to say, well, how you know they're lying? But why would Trump and the White House press secretary come out and say the FAA did clear him if they didn't clear him? Why would they say that? Because obviously, if people are to believe this, that means we're lying right now. So why would you come out and say something like that you can't prove? It makes no sense. Now, before we go any further, let's check this out. Now, this is an example of what I want to see. Okay, this is an alert that came out January 25th, obviously after Trump became the president. FBI Albany, public alert. Our large-scale multi-agency nuclear incident training exercise will take place on January 26th through January 31st in Schenectady, Albany, and Saratoga counties. The training exercise will not pose risks to area residents. Please do not be alarmed by the activity. Now, this is transparency. I think if this was the previous administration, they wouldn't say anything. They'll just do it. And then when you say, hey, man, what's going on with all these drones or whatnot over my house? It's parked over my house. It's like a whole McDonald's right above my driveway. I'm out here cutting grass and I'm seeing, a fast food restaurant right above my head. They say, oh, no, don't worry about that. It's just, something from Best Buy you could get from a convenience store. Don't worry about it. Completely ridiculous, which was the policy of the previous administration. Let's get into the news report. We're going to see some of the old drone footage. We're going to hear from our new White House press secretary and Fox to see what's really happening with the update. Check it out.
President Trump's press secretary says the drones flying over much of the Northeast over the past few weeks do not belong to enemy forces. Karoline Leavitt saying today they were actually authorized by the FAA, raising more questions about previous answers from the previous administration. Correspondent Nate Foy is in Middletown Township, New Jersey tonight with the latest. Good evening, Nate.
Hey, Brett, good evening. So after more than 2 months of frustration and concern during the Biden administration, several residents in New Jersey tell Fox News tonight that they're grateful to President Donald Trump for following through on his promise and explaining, at least to some extent, what was going on with the mysterious drones over New Jersey for the past 2 months.
Now, before he continues, I think the explanation that's being given here may not be enough for most people. They're saying, I still need to know a little bit more. He's talking about research and this, that, and the third. Well, what are they looking for? people are not necessarily going to be satisfied with the response, but it's more than what the previous administration said, especially the part about them being approved by the FAA.
Take a listen to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt earlier today.
The drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy.
Now, some of these drones were, I'm not going to say big as a house, but maybe big as a Volkswagen, big as an SUV, a Yukon or something like this. They were really big. So if these are hobbyists, how are they able to get their hands on these gigantic drones that cost probably six figures, if not more, for one of them? How are they able to get that? And some of these cost a lot more than that. You're talking about things that you got to be uber rich. You got to be Mohammed bin Salman or somebody like this, somebody that has Saudi Arabian oil money. You got to be Elon Musk. You got to be that kind of rich. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but you can't just be a regular person, a hobbyist, like that one guy. I don't know if he was a senator or what, talking about, you can get these from the convenience store. I think not. I've never seen an SUV the size of a regular mid-sized SUV, a RAV4. I've never seen a RAV4 size SUV just in the shopping go behind the counter. Am I going to ask the man, okay, can I get 1002 and that drone back in the back for $500,000? Yeah, I put it on my EBT card.
Brett, apparent drone sightings impacted a dozen states across the country, launching investigations by local, state, and federal agencies, all while former President Joe Biden and others in his administration would only say the drones posed no public safety threat.
Nothing nefarious, apparently, but they're checking it all out. We're following it closely. So far, no sense of danger.
Today's news from the White House means the FAA granted temporary flight restrictions because of drones that it authorized in the first place.
The FAA on the call was telling us that they had no record and no understanding as to where these drones were coming from. Now today, they were authorized by the FAA.
Middletown Mayor Tony Perry tells Fox the White House has promised more information to local leaders soon. He doesn't know exactly when quite yet, but there are still questions as to what kind of research was being done with these drones, although there's also comfort knowing that a foreign adversary was not behind it.
Yeah, of course. There's going to be more questions. Like, all right, they're doing research and other things, so what does that really mean? So I'm glad we're going to get more answers, or at least they're going to get more answers, local leaders, because that's who's really going to need it. People out there in the places where the drones were, it's like, okay, can you explain why this Land Cruiser was above my house loud in the middle of the night? Or it might not have been loud at all. It might have been totally quiet. So that's going to be even scarier. You're talking about some kind of very advanced technology. Is he even from Earth? Now, as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to the Trump administration, Team Trump, for trying to get down to the bottom of it, giving us more information. The key thing that we learned here was that the government, the FAA specifically, approved it. So they knew about it and they were cool with it. That's the main thing. Now we can ask, okay, now who do these belong to? Do we have any names? Was there a purpose? Was it trying to scare us before the election? And why were they cleared to fly right at that time? And if you cleared them to fly, why didn't you tell the general public, hey, it's all good, we cleared it, don't worry about it? Why didn't you say that? Why was it a cliffhanger? Why was it a mystery? It's really weird, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about the New Jersey drones? Do you think that these are all approved by the FAA? And if you don't believe that, then I'm sure the FAA would come out and say something, right? I'm sure they would come out and say, well, that report you've seen on Fox News was false. We did not know anything. Our original statement saying that we didn't know anything back in December still stands. Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. Do you think it's enough information? Are you satisfied with what you have heard today from Caroline Leavitt and everybody else, Fox News, Trump, whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think that we're getting down to the bottom of it. We're getting some more transparency, as I showed in that notice about the nuclear test or whatever. We're getting more transparency, which is what I like. The previous administration, the previous guys, the Biden team, they were all about secrecy and trying to hide things, trying to obfuscate, trying not to tell you really what's going on. They will tell you whatever they think is going to make you feel comfortable, whatever they think you need to know, rather than the truth. And I think we're at a certain point in our society and humanity where truth should come first and foremost, rather than trying to tell us what you think we're going to like to just, come for us to keep us in a nice, safe place. We're really beyond that at this point. We're dealing with different foreign nations. You might have some kind of space threat. We really need to be informed as a people. And if we're truly informed, that's part of being educated. And if you have an educated people, you're able to have a prosperous country, at least in my humble opinion. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.